Hello all and welcome back to another YouTube video. So today we're going to be filming a first drive. Well, we're going to be trying to replicate anyway what my initial thoughts and feelings were when I first drove this. So let's get into it. Let's not waste any time. So yes guys, this car, like I said in my previous one for all 12 people who watched that particular one, that video anyway, and like I said, we picked this car up now. It's been about a couple of months to be honest since we picked this car up. Now it's not exactly a first drive as such, but as I mentioned, we're gonna try and replicate it. Well, explain what my initial thoughts and feelings were when we first got this car. Now let's just run by the figures again. So what this car is basically a 1.4 turbo, Abarth like to call it a T-Jet, why not, eh? 1.4 turbo T-Jet, whatever tickles your fancy, and it has 165 brake horsepower. Now of course those figures, you know, if you look at it just at those figures on paper, it's not too exciting, because of course there's bigger engines out there, there's higher brake horsepower cars out there, which is of course completely understandable. But what figure does make this car exciting is the weight. So the weight is just over 1,000 kilos. I think it's 1,100, something around that anyway. So it's not heavy at all. So now when you put it all in perspective, 1.4 turbo, 165 brake horsepower, and it only weighs just over a ton, that's when it does get exciting. So yeah, anyway, this car, like I said, we've had it for a couple of months now, and when I first got behind the wheel of it, I didn't expect too much. I tend to do that. I don't get too excited, and I just tend to drive the car for what it is. And yeah, this particular car, it does make you go weak in your knees. The sensation you get when you're accelerating, and just that never-ending feeling of the car just continually just pulling and pulling and pulling, it is just on another level. It is a great little car, and it does pull like a train. Yeah, with regards to the gearbox, it is an auto that we have got. Now in the beginning, when you are wanting to go, if you don't use your paddles, it is a bit dim-witted, to be very honest. It is quite dim-witted, but once you give it a bit of a slap up and it does get into the right gears and it does get in the right ratios and whatnot, it does start pulling. And when it does, it just feels you're doing like warp speed. Honestly, it's just a great feeling. I know the North 60 isn't too clever. I think it's just over 7 seconds, but it's not about the North 60 in this car. It really isn't. This car is more about the feeling it gives you and how it accelerates rather than how fast it accelerates. And in this day and age, with all these ridiculous cameras that are about, these vultures cameras that are about, you know, there's not much that you can do on the public roads nowadays. You shouldn't be doing that anyway, guys. I'm just saying, there's not much you can do. So realistically, in the real world, if you're gonna behave like a reasonable person, or a reasonable petrolhead, let's say, if there is such a thing for that, this is all the sensation, all the kind of experience you really need from a car, without seriously breaking any kind of speeding laws. So yeah, I know I've mentioned quite a lot now in this video already. that the feeling, I keep saying the words feeling, it feels great. It's very important, honestly it is, because like I was talking about, there's only so much speed you can do on a public road. Now when I had the M135i, of course that was a car that was very, very fast. You know, it was 0-16, I think 4.7 seconds, but we actually managed to get 4.2 out of that car. So you know, it was very, very, very capable. But you put your foot down on that, you are breaking the speed limit instantly, because it reaches speed like that. Now, that's obviously a good thing, but at the same time, illegal. Now, having said that, of course, the BM, as good as it was, as much as I loved it, it was quite a numb experience. It was more of the kind of car which just performed. I know on paper it was brilliant, 0-60 times, 0 to whatever times, 50 to 80, any of that kind of stuff, you know, fantastic figures. But the actual feeling, it was quite a numb feeling. Now this, however, it just kind of brings it back in regards to how the older cars used to drive. Like I've got my C32, of course, that's an old car, that's a 21-year-old car. You put your foot down on that, yeah, probably, actually no, it's probably faster than 135i, but it just gives you that fantastic sensation that you're doing a lot faster, and that's what it's all about. It's all about the adrenaline which this car gives. Another thing as well, which of course improves the overall experience, is the noise it makes. It's got a fantastic sounding exhaust on this, and honestly, it just adds to the whole experience. Yeah, of course, like I've already said, it's not the fastest car in the world, but it is all about the experience, and this car does give you a brilliant experience. It's got a fantastic note to the exhaust. The feeling you get when you put your foot down, because it's so light, it does make you weak in your knees. And not only that, it's the gearbox itself. So I kind of instantly dismissed the gearbox and I said it's dim-witted. That's a flaw, but there is a massive benefit as well of this gearbox. Now this gearbox, you put it in sport mode, you've put it through the gears, this car does send you back in your seat. Now I don't just mean that by the power of the car, I mean that in the actual gear change itself. It is a very, very enhanced feeling of a gear change, again making it a very, very exciting experience. It just gives that overall race car kind of feeling. I know I think I'm probably over exaggerating it, but it actually does. It really does give you a really, really fun and great experience. Honestly, it is a very, very exciting car, and it does make sense. It does make sense now to me that I see so many of these on the road. And not only do I just see people who not just see people who would drive around in these Abarths, I actually see people, especially on Instagram, you know, who have got really nice cars, you know, Porsches and Ferraris and Lambos and whatnot, but they'll have an Abarth. They will have an Abarth as their daily, and I can see why. Do apologize, it has gone quite dark now since I've started filming. I was trying to get some shots outside, which took longer than expected, but yeah, do apologize for that. The clarity, well, it's not as clear as it should be now. But yeah guys, I hope you all have a wonderful Sunday, or what's left of the Sunday anyway, and I'll see you in another video. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe. We need to get the subscribers up. Take care guys, see ya, bye bye.